Well, hello everyone again. In case you are new here, I am Michelle Arbori, and this is Savvy Women of Social Media. And about a month ago, I started doing some virtual coffee and chats. So if you can pop on the Zoom, that would be great. That way we can talk. I can see your faces, and we can actually have some coffee or water and chat. So today we're going to be talking about your social media goals and your target market. And if you are on Zoom, put your questions in the chat if you don't want to be seen or heard. If you are watching on the Facebook group, I am not there, so I can't really see your questions. So I will go back to them and answer them. Let's see, I guess I can bring it up, but so I will try and go back and forth and look at those too. So today I want to start talking about your social media goals. Do you have a sense of direction when it comes to your social media? Do you have a vision of where you're going, what you're doing with your social media? I want to have you think of social media in a new way. So I want you to think about your social media like the blueprint of your dream home. And you may have heard me say this before. So it's essential to design your dream home the right way, right? So it suits your needs. You have everything you need, right? So when you design your dream home, it's designed for your preferences, what you like, what you want. Similarly, you could think about your social media the same way. There are people you want to attract, certain people, and with who you want to interact with. That means you need custom designed social media places where they're inviting. So people feel like that you really want to be talking to them and interacting with them and engaging with them. So they want to feel invited and they want to feel comfortable connecting with you online. Again, it's about building that know, like, and trust that I talk a lot about. So each social network, whether that be Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, what else is left? I don't even know anymore. There's so many. They all have their own cultures and they all have their own practices. Each one is different. We're going to talk about target market in a minute. Each one has their own audience. Okay, so they have their own purpose. So you want to think of each social media network as a different room in your house and that dream home that you're building. So when it comes to goals, you need a sense of direction. You need a clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to achieve from your social media. Now, it could be different from Facebook to LinkedIn. You might want to drive traffic to your website on Facebook. But on LinkedIn, you may want to make connections and network. Whereas Twitter, you may want to drive people to your blog or a free offer. But let's try and focus on one specific goal right now. So if you had one specific goal, and if you're on, if you want to throw this answer in the chat, if you had one specific goal, what would it be for social media? And if you're on Facebook, throw it on there as well. And I'm sure the first thing you're going to say is, oh, I want money, right? We all want money. We all want to, especially now, because a lot of people aren't working. But I want you to think outside of the box when it comes to your goals right now. Is it to drive traffic to your website, drive traffic to a blog? Are you having an event that you want to get people to? Do you have a free offer? So are you growing that email list? Because all of this stuff, all of these goals that you're thinking about or writing down are going to lead to more money. So what are you going to do right now to get to that money? Okay. So for me right now, it is going to be within the next month or so, um, getting people to sign up for my LinkedIn course. So what am I going to do to get people to sign up for that LinkedIn course? Okay. So let's see. Sherry says her goal is to attract the 25 to 40 age group. Okay. That's a great goal. So you already know who your target market is. So now think about, Sherry, what can you do to attract that target market? So think about that. Is it going to be, and I know some of the things that you're doing more Zooms right now. You're adjusting to COVID. So is it doing more Zooms? Is it doing more facials online? So what goal can you go for right now to attract that target market? Let's see. So what engages your community, right? So when it comes to thinking about your goal, so for me, it's going to be getting people to register for my LinkedIn course. What is going to engage my community to get people to at least go look at it and then hopefully register? So my goal is to be doing more blogs. So I want to drive people to my blog and write LinkedIn blogs. And then in that blog, I'm going to talk about, the things that they should be doing on LinkedIn, what works and what doesn't. But I'm also going to be talking about my course. So I'm throwing that call to action in that blog post. Okay. So what is going to engage your target market once we talk about that to get to that more money? So Sherry says, look at what the age group is using more. Okay, are you talking about social media platform? So which social media platform they're using more? Okay, so let's see, your age group is 25 to 40. I would say you can be working on Facebook and Instagram. And I know we've talked about this before. You're doing really well with Facebook, Sherry. You're doing more of the Zoom calls and airing them live. So that is great. But now I think we need to get you, especially with products, and Instagram is such image based, you should be focusing as well as Facebook with Instagram, because especially now people are shopping more online. And I just saw on the Today Show, I want to say it was yesterday, Sherry, that women are focusing more on their skincare now because they're home. They have the time, and the skincare market is really increasing right now. And lipsticks and stuff like that. You might want to look at the Today Show. I want to say it was either, let's say Wednesday, Monday or Tuesday. They did a interview of, a topic about what women are doing right now. Instagram and Facebook. So you're doing well with Facebook right now with your Zooms and your lives. I would say now that you got the Facebook down, maybe now shift maybe, 30% of that effort to Instagram. And you can also do Instagram lives. So that's something we can talk about. But skincare is really on the rise right now because women are home. They're trying to pamper themselves and take care of themselves. So I think we narrowed down your goal. All right. So you want to begin with the end in mind. So what is your end goal? So yes, it's going to be, getting more money, but really think about what your end goal is. Is it going to be increase awareness and brand loyalty? Is it going to increase traffic to your website, your blog, your free offers? Because then once you know what your end goal is, then you can think about what you're going to do to reach that end goal. Okay. Is it to build relationships with your customers, vendors, partners? Is it to gain more prospects and sell more? Is it to increase the size of your email list? Or is it to increase sales to your products or services? So for me, it's going to be increasing the sales of my product, my LinkedIn course. So what am I going to do to get people there? What am I going to do to engage them? For Sherry, what is she going to do to engage that 25 to 40-year-old group? What is she going to do to get people to buy her products? By identifying where you want to end up, it's easier to create that strategy and the content and the social media posts and the blog posts and the newsletters and all of that. They all play in together. And it's easy to connect the dots in order to get to that ultimate goal. And it's about being laser focused. It's really important to be focused and not all over the place. So the past few months, my goal has been growing my Facebook group, this group right here, Savvy Women of Social Media. And I think I've come up with some great ideas, and a lot of people have been responding, and I want to thank everybody for that. Now my new goal for September and October, besides growing the Facebook group, is going to be focusing on my LinkedIn course and getting that back out there and trying to get people to look into it and purchase it. So what am I going to do in order to do that? So you want to have SMART goals. I'm sure you've already heard of the acronyms SMART, SMART, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. So I can go through them quickly. Specific, you want to answer these questions. Who's responsible? So unless you work with a team, it's going to be you, right? It's me. Hi, I'm responsible. Sherry, you're responsible for coming up with all of this. What do you want to accomplish? So you want to be specific. Where? So what location? So for me, I would have anybody in the world who wanted to buy my LinkedIn course, right? So I could work with anybody in the United States, we'll say. I don't know about the world yet, but the United States at least. I can work with anybody in the United States area. Which requirements are you looking for? And then what's your why? What's the goal's purpose? Besides getting money, what's the why of your goal? Then measurable. A measurable goal is a goal that you can measure and track. So it's critical to measure your goals. That way you know if you're moving towards achieving your goal or if you're way off and you're not doing anything really to achieve that goal. Maybe you've picked the wrong type of content or anything to put out there. So you really want to measure and see what's working. So when you do your social media posts, see what your reach is, see what your engagement is. You can actually see on Facebook who the demographics are, age and location, and if they're male or female. Same thing with Instagram, you can see. So you want to measure all of that. Are people really engaging with your content? Are they liking with either a heart or a smiley face or a thumbs up or whatever, the engagement is now on Facebook and Instagram? Are they hearting it on Instagram? Are they sharing it? Okay. When it comes to blogging, if you're trying to drive traffic to your blog, are people commenting? Are people sharing your blog? So you want to measure all of that and see what's working and what's not working. When it comes to the A, achievable, it's important your goals are achievable. So if you set them too high, and I know I've done this, you're not going to get there. So, and if you set them too small, well, then that's easy and you're going to, forget about it and move on. You want to be right in the middle, that sweet spot, but you want to make them achievable. You want to be challenged, right? You want to be challenged. Then relevant, the R. Your social media goals should support your business's overall marketing goals. You want to have a path that will lead to your success. And then timed. Give yourself a deadline. Give yourself either a weekly goal, a monthly goal, quarterly goals, but I really didn't. I had a goal to grow my social media group, but I didn't know how until it just hit me. I was networking actually online. I was doing virtual networking in a women's group, and they were asking for a want. What do you want? Now that you're here networking, what do you want? And I'm like, I want to start interviewing women in my Facebook group. At first, for this month, it's about marketing. And I couldn't believe I said that, right? I knew it was a goal in the back of my mind, but I never really written it out. I never gave myself timeline. I never, did anything so that I could measure. I didn't do any of this stuff. But now I am. Now that it's out there, and I put it out on Facebook and I put it out on LinkedIn, and I'm getting people responding who want to be interviewed in this group. So now I'm really doing all of this stuff. I'm measuring it. I'm making it achievable for me. I'm scheduling interviews out into October already, and I'm trying to do 2 interviews a week. Some are even 3 interviews a week. So this has really, taken off. So obviously there's a need. Women want to hear what other women have to say about marketing and how they've grown their business and how they're surviving COVID right now. But now my new goal for September and October, I need to really sit down and think about what I'm going to do to achieve this goal and make it, reasonable and manageable, and give myself a deadline and a timeline. And I think that'll really help, because I didn't do that before. I created the course, I talked about it for a little while, but then I didn't do anything to, make it work. And that's where I messed up. And everybody, makes mistakes. So I'm learning from my mistakes. So let's see, any other goals? Let me look on here and see. Okay, Sherry. Oh, thank you, Sherry. So Sherry says you've done a great job in bringing more awareness of all your skills and expertise, also sharing and helping many women. My goal is to create awareness of the products and the career opportunity. The product is the vehicle. My ultimate goal is to share the opportunity more. And then, yes, SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. So I would say write that goal down. Write it in where's my notebook? I am a old-fashioned girl when it comes to writing things down. These are everybody I have for interviews for this month, September and October. I actually wrote them all down so I can keep track. But if I don't write things down, I'm not going to do it. So whatever is best for you, whether it's writing it down, keeping a Word document, doing whatever, now write down that goal, Sherry, and break it down. What can you do to get out that opportunity? What kinds of social media posts can you do? What kind of newsletters can you do if you can with your company? I don't remember all of the things that you can and can't do. What kinds of Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives can you do to reach that goal? And then give yourself a goal of, okay, I want to bring in this many people by the middle of September. And if you reach that goal, great. Then now you can go a step further. And if you reach that goal before the middle of September, give yourself another goal. Okay, I want to get 5 more people by the middle of September. Okay. But if you don't reach that goal, that's okay. Don't get down on yourself. I used to do that. When I would write down my goals, I think that's why I stopped doing it. I was getting down on myself. So I would just give up. And I know that's not the right thing to do, but I know we all do it. We all have that time where we just give in to whatever's happening and give up. But I think now in September, I'm going to be interviewing women who had to shift because of COVID. And we've all had to shift. And because we can't be out networking, that's how I grow my business here locally, where I live in Rochester, New York. I have to get out and network. Yes, I do get clients from LinkedIn and, in different cities and the internet, but to get local people, I had to go out and network and work my butt off to get in front of people. I would speak and, do things like that. I would travel to conferences around the Rochester area, Syracuse, Buffalo, whatever. But now that I can't go out and network, I've had to shift and think about what I can do to try and grow my business a different way. And I used to hate videos. This was another one of my goals this year. Even before COVID hit, I wanted to do more videos. And because of a course that I bought into, I didn't finish it yet. But what I've learned already, this has pushed me into achieving that goal of doing more videos. Because now, like I said, I have all these people that I'm interviewing. This is for August, and then this is for September and October, because I put it out there. So I think it's a great way. COVID has helped me change my mind of how I want to work on my business. Yes, Sherry. So Sherry says referrals are a great way. It's just a matter of asking. Yes, you do. And if you watched the interview from before with Teresa Ashman, she was talking about relationship marketing and how you build relationships. And yes, it's about gaining that know, like, and trust. And then, once they have that know, like, and trust, then they're going to refer people to you because they know who you are. They know what type of businesswoman you are. They know and love the products and trust the products and services. And yes, then they're going to refer you. I had somebody refer me last week to somebody, and I'm talking with them tomorrow, and hopefully that's going to be a new client. And I haven't talked to this person in probably 2 years, but because I have a good relationship with her, she's referring me to this other person who I've met through networking years ago. I haven't seen him in a long time, but she referred me. And now we're sitting down on a Zoom call tomorrow and going to be talking about how we can hopefully work together. So I have my goals. Sherry you have your goals, right? I would love to know when you watch this back later, what are your goals for social media? And think about, again, each platform should have a different goal. So Sherry, for you, Facebook, the older generation is on Facebook. So you want to have your content geared more towards that. Whereas Instagram is the younger generation. And I think those people would be great for getting that business out there and talking about that business. So you might want to focus on products and stuff on Facebook and doing those lives, and then Instagram talking more about the business and doing those lives with that, right? So each platform is a different bedroom in your dream home. So you do want to remember that. So now we're going to talk about who your target market is. And Sherry, you already said it's 20 to 40 age group. Could be men or women, right? But I think more women. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think more women. But you already know your age group. So now I want you to think about, for me and for anybody else out there, is your target market small businesses, medium-sized businesses, huge conglomerates? Do you sell to business to consumer, B2C, or business to business, B2B? Do they need to make a certain amount of income in order to buy your products or invest in your services? Are they male or female? Are they a certain age range? Can you work with anybody in the United States or the world, or do you have to stick with local to where you live? So that's a lot to think about when it comes to your target market. And I used to be the person that would say, oh, I can work with anybody, right? And I know a lot of people say that. I fell in that loophole of I can work with anybody. So now I want you to think outside that box. And it took me a while to get to this point. I've been in business since 2010. So it is now 2020. So 10 years I've been in business. Oh my God, a decade. I've been doing this a long time, but it took me a long time to get to this point of knowing who I want to work with. I want to work with small companies, small businesses with no more than 15 people because I love coaching. So when I want to coach businesses and people, I love the small, intimate group. So I want to work with small businesses. I love working with entrepreneurs because, again, I love that one-on-one coaching aspect. I love working with women. Nothing against men, but I love working with women. So that's my target market. And if you go to my website and if you look a lot at a lot of my social media posts or blog, a lot of my images are feminine based because, and I've just started changing that recently. I've always wanted to work with women, but I didn't really put that out there until I would say the past couple months. Since COVID, again, I started thinking about my business and focusing more on my business. So now a lot of my stuff is more feminine based. I love working with the older generation of women because they weren't brought up with technology. They weren't brought up with smartphones and, computers and laptops and tablets and all of this stuff. I just signed a new client actually last week, and she's saying, she had to go buy a tablet and she had no idea how to use it. And I forgot who she said had to show her. I don't know if it was her husband or somebody else, but she had no idea how to use it. So I love working with the older generation. That's who I love to help because this is all foreign to them. Social media is foreign to them. When it comes to either B2B or B2C, I can work with either. I'm not picky, either business to consumer or business to business. When it comes to income that they make, yeah, I have a certain amount of income that they should make because, I've raised my prices throughout the years. Location, again, I love to work with people locally in Rochester. When we could meet with people, I would joke that my office was Starbucks or Panera, and I would love to have one-on-one coaching sessions with them at either or. Now we obviously do Zoom, so now my focus is more on anybody in the United States, but I love to work with people locally because I am a people person. I'm shy when you first meet me, especially in a network setting, if there's a lot of people there. But once I get to know you and I know, like, and trust you, I love being and talking with people. So understanding your audience is one of the most important aspects of any marketing strategy. So whether that be social media or not, you need to know who you're marketing to. Figuring this out will actually help me guide you on which social media platforms you should be on, because not all social media platforms are equal. And I think I just pointed that out a minute ago when I was talking with Sherry about which platforms she should be on and what types of content she should be sharing to each of those. All right, so Sherry writes, love that analogy of each social media platform as a different room in your dream home. I am a huge believer of relationship marketing for my business. Yes, and I think with your type of business, Sherry, you definitely have to build that relationship with what you do. And I remember doing that. And, so that's definitely very important. So we talked about goals and target market, but I'm going to go into a little bit more than that. Let me check Facebook real quick, see if there's any questions or comments. Again, I'd love to know if you're watching this back later, your goals and your target market. So feel free to comment and I will go back and answer those questions and maybe help you figuring out which social media platforms you should be on. So if you tell me your goals and your target market in the comments of this on Facebook in the group, I will definitely go back and help you. Because next, you should know where your audience is. You don't want to assume, because again, like Sherry said, and like I said a little while ago, you want to think of each platform as a different room in your dream home, because each room is different. My master bedroom is different than my son's room. That's behind me. I share a room with my son for now. I actually I had a goal for the past couple of years that I've been saving money to turn my sunroom into my office. And I'm hoping, I know I've been talking about this for a long time, but I am hoping we are planning on having that goal met by Thanksgiving, if not sooner. So, that room is going to be different than what I do and feel and want in the master bedroom or in the family room. So, yes, each social media platform you want to think about the same way. So, you can't assume you know where your target market is. So, once you write down your goals and you write down your target market, now it's time to do the research and see where they are playing, where they're hiding out. So you need to understand what they're doing. So again, I said the older generation is on Facebook. What are they doing on Facebook? Are they talking about gardening? Are they talking about books, quilting, sewing, grandkids, animals, whatever? What are they talking about and doing? Are they playing games? Sometimes if you play a game on Facebook, it'll share on your profile. So you want to see what they're doing. So if you're friends with your customers on Facebook, go stalk them. Why not? Go see what they're doing. Go see what they're talking about, because that will also help you come up with content. If somebody's talking about gardening or reading books, you might want to create a post about that. Hey, I found this great gardening article about what to plant next year or whatever. These are the most popular flowers of the season. Thought some of you would enjoy this. Post it. You got to remember that with social media, it's not all about your business all the time. So you do want to share educational, helpful, valuable, engaging information, but it doesn't always have to be about your products and services. So if you know what your audience likes, what your target market likes, and what they're doing on social media, make posts towards that. Write blog posts towards that. Write newsletters towards that. Write about what you've been doing during COVID. Everybody can relate to this right now. That's a good idea. I just came up with a good post. But write about what you've been doing. How much takeout have you been doing? I've done a lot of takeout. I don't know how I haven't gained more weight. But if you have kids, talk about what you've been doing with your kids during this time, how much you hated homeschooling during this time. If you're going to homeschool in the fall, which I'm gonna, God help me. I'm not sending my son to school yet until I feel comfortable. So you do want to talk about what's happening in the world without getting too political or religious, but you do want to stay up with current events. So knowing what your audience is doing will help. Okay. So again, what platforms are your competitors using? Your competitors. So Sherry, I know what your business is. What's a competitor doing? What types of content are they sharing on social media? What types of newsletters or blog posts are they putting out there? Are they having a contest on social media and you're not doing contests? That could be something you can look into. You can give away free, $25 credit towards your next purchase. You can give away a free product. So you want to see what your competitors are doing. Look at their following on each social media platform that they're on. Do they have a big following on Facebook? Or do they have a bigger following on Instagram? Where are they getting their engagement? They may have a bigger following on Instagram, but are they getting the hearts and the comments? So you want to look at all of that. You're welcome, Sherry. Because that'll help create that social media strategy. Then look at companies that are local to you and see what they're doing. So look at the big competition and then look at locally. So does somebody do what you do where you live? See what they're doing. Again, see where their following is, see what their engagement is like. And then that'll help decide on which platforms to look into. Again, stalk those people. It's okay to do that. So now that you have the goals, so I'm going into more than I thought I was going to, but that's okay. You got your goals, you got your target market, you know where your audience is and what they're doing and what they're liking and sharing. You know what your competitors are doing. So now what types of content are you going to share? And I've given you some ideas here and there. You want to create a plan and stick with it. Yes, it's going to change. Obviously, things have changed since March. So your content may change, your strategy may change. And that's okay. Again, you want to stick with what is going on currently. But you also need that content that is still going to engage people, be valuable, and maybe give them some inspiration, because right now in the world, everything's so sad. Between COVID and everything else that is going on, everything's down, right? So it's okay to share inspiring messages, okay? But you want to be consistent with your content. So if you're only going to share once a week, great, share once a week, but be consistent. If you're going to share every day, share every day, but be consistent. So I manage about 8 different clients right now for social media, and I share typically almost every day. And I'm consistent with that. So their audience knows every day there's going to be a post. It's going to be at different times, but every day there's going to be a post. So you want to come up with that plan. I would say if you're new to social media and you don't want to overwhelm yourself, do once a week. That's it. But during the week, if you see something on social media or a blog or an article or whatever that you want to share, or an inspirational quote, go ahead and share it. That's okay. But you want to be consistent. And you want to keep track of everything. Again, I had said with your goals, you want to make everything measurable, but you want to keep track of what you're sharing and measure it. Okay. Is it working? Is it not working? Are you getting the likes? Are you getting the comments? So you want to check and see all of that. So you can make a list of ideas. If you're unsure, make a list. And what I do is I actually have, when I find resources for my clients, I bookmark them in my Chrome in Google. I bookmark them. So that way, when it comes time for next month's content, I know where I can go get some good content. So either keep an Excel sheet or bookmark it in your internet. Again, you want to remember that 80-20 rule when it comes to content. 80% of your content should be helpful, educational, inspirational, valuable information that they could walk away with. And then 20% about your business. So I may share blog posts because that's blog posts that I wrote because I'm educating people on how to do certain things. So that could be something that you share in that 80%. Whereas that 20%, when I start focusing on my LinkedIn course, 20% of my marketing should be about my LinkedIn course, what they'll get when they register for my course, what extra bonuses they're going to get, stuff like that. But that 80% should be about blog posts that I've already written about LinkedIn, posts that I will write, articles that I may find about LinkedIn, because that's all educational and valuable information. I can ask questions. You know, what are you struggling now when it comes to LinkedIn? Number one, those can engage my audience, my target market, and then those can turn into blog posts and social media content. So asking questions really helps when it comes to finding out content that you're going to write. So here's 3 simple questions you want to ask yourself when it comes time to what to share. Who's your customer? That's where that target market is going to come in handy. What's important to them? So you want to look at your business from your customer's eyes and think about what they care about as it relates to your business. And then what action should they take? So what call to action, or CTA, if you see the abbreviation, what call to action do they need to take? Should they visit your website, shop in your store, order products on your online store, sign up for a freebie, register for a course? So you want to make sure it's clear to them what their next step is, because if they can't figure it out, they're going bye-bye. They're not going to stay and try and figure it out. People don't have time for that. They want quick, fast, and easy, and they need to be told what to do. So 3 simple questions. Who's your customer? What's important to them? And what next step should they take? Okay. So that will help you when it comes to coming up with ideas and content on what to share. So now let's talk quickly about which social media platform is right for your business. So I helped Sherry. I told her Facebook and Instagram. Let me go to Facebook, see if there's anything. Again, if you watch this back and comment your goals, your target market, and stuff like that, I can actually help you and see in which social media platforms you're focusing on. So if you say you're focusing on Facebook and your target market is 25 to 40-year-olds, like Sherry said, right now, that's what she wants to focus on. I helped her and said, you should be focusing on Instagram. So if you tell me that stuff, I will help you. That's what I want to do in this group. I want to be helpful. So which social media platform is right for your business? I do suggest creating accounts on all of them. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram. Those are the ones I focus on. I don't do TikTok. I don't do Snapchat, especially TikTok. If they ban it from the United States, I don't need to worry about that. So the ones I focus on when it comes to clients, or I tell people to focus on, are LinkedIn first. I think if you are in business or you're looking for a job, especially now, if you were let go from a job and you're looking for a job, you need to be on LinkedIn. I always start with LinkedIn. When I work with somebody, I always start with LinkedIn. But LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, and Twitter. I suggest creating accounts on all of them, even if you don't use them. Why? Because you want to have your name. You don't want to give somebody else a chance to get either your business name or your name. Believe it or not, there's another Michelle Arbori, and she's my sister-in-law. So my husband, I'm Michelle Arbori, married me, and then my brother-in-law married a Michelle, and she became Michelle Arbori. So by the time she came into the family, I had already had all my accounts. But if I didn't, and she was going to be creating accounts, she would have those accounts then. So I know that's rare, but that's why you want to create accounts on all of them, especially with your business name. If you're going to be going under your business name and your name isn't trademarked or registered or anything like that, somebody else can go for your name. So that's why I suggest creating accounts on all platforms, even if you're not going to use them all. Then I would suggest picking 2 platforms to focus on. If that seems too overwhelming, then just pick one. Are you going to start with Facebook? Maybe Facebook and Instagram, like I suggested to Sherry. Maybe, again, if you're looking for a job, I would put your wholehearted focus onto LinkedIn and nothing else. I would suggest cleaning up your other social media profiles, though. And this is something to tell your kids. If you have kids who have already graduated or are going to be graduating and going out into the workforce, they need to clean up their social media profiles. Get rid of all those party pictures, beer pong pictures, keg pictures, anything that can show them in a negative light, they need to get rid of. Clean up your social media profiles if you're looking for a job, because people will find it. And people will not hire you then if you have a bad reputation on social media. But again, it all comes down to who your target market is. Okay. I do say give a platform before you throw in the towel and throw up your hands and say it's not working, 6 to 8 months, especially Facebook, because with the way they're always changing their algorithms, and that means how you're showing up in people's news feeds. If people are not engaging with your content, you're not going to show up in an algorithm very well. So that will take time to grow. You need to get people liking or following your page and then engaging with you. So I say 6 to 8 months before you say, great, I tried Instagram, I tried Twitter, it's not working. Then you can move on to another platform. You can that's why I say do 2 at a time. That way you can see which one's working and which one isn't. You may say after 4 months, okay, I've been doing Instagram for 4 months, it's not working. Let me focus mainly on Facebook. You can do that, but I do say give it 6 to 8 months. And it's not going to happen overnight. I love when people come to me, oh, I've been doing Instagram or LinkedIn for 2 weeks. I'm not getting anything from it. Well, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. I wish it would, but it's not gonna. So you do want to give it time. Be patient. I know it's hard to get frustrated and overwhelmed and, discouraged, but it will happen. I promise. It does happen. It will. So which platform should you use? So remember, do you sell to business or business to consumer? That's going to help decide which platform to use. That's why you need to know who your target market is. If you sell to business to consumer, I believe you should focus on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. So because I keep picking on Sherry because she's here, but I know what she sells. She is business to consumer, not business to business. Okay. So you need to know what you sell and who you sell it to. So if you're business to consumer, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. If you're business to business, you should focus on LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay. So I'm not going to go through each platform, but I can tell you Facebook is the older generation now, more women than men, because Facebook, when it first came out, it was geared towards kids and college kids, but then the parents and the grandparents got onto it, so the kids left. So I would say 50 and on is Facebook. I've heard more women, and I can believe that. Instagram is the younger generation. I'm 42. I'm on it. I love it. I've purchased things off of it. I'm one of those people. So I would say 18 to 40, 50-ish. Because I'm 42. So I would say that could be the target market for Instagram. Twitter, I will be honest, I do not like it. And I know I'm not the only one. It's too fast-paced for me. If you want to see success on Twitter, you need to be posting at least 50 times a day because it is so fast-paced. And I'm not joking. At least 50 times a day. So it's too fast-paced for me. It's too celebrity-based for me. People are too mean and rude on it. I'm not a fan of it. It is great for customer service, though. So I know companies that hire people to sit in front of a computer all day and see if their names are mentioned and that's how they handle customer service. So I know if you're having a problem, I know when people were flying before COVID, if somebody was having a problem with a flight, they would tweet that company, Delta or US Airlines or whatever. They would tweet them and they would get a response. Would that problem be fixed? Most likely. But so Twitter is great for customer service. I will give you that. Twitter could be great for researching hashtags or finding speaking engagements. That's a whole nother virtual coffee about hashtags and how to use them. That might be an idea for September. So I would say Twitter, you got to try it out and see. I don't like it, and I'm in social media. LinkedIn, again, is my number one profile that I love to coach on, teach on, create a course on, blog about, read about. That's where I fell in love for some reason. That out of all the platforms, I love them all except for Twitter. I love them all, but LinkedIn is the one that I really fell in love with because I saw success with it. And I am doing another virtual coffee in 2 weeks on how to make your LinkedIn profile rock and how you can be successful with it. So you do want to tune into that in a couple of weeks. I believe it's in 2 weeks, towards the end of the month, I believe. So I will go into that all then. But if you are a professional looking for a job, looking to network, looking to grow your connections, looking for business, you should be on LinkedIn. The clientele is more men than women, which women are coming up there. So I'm not worried about that when it comes to finding clients on social media. But it is the number one platform when it comes to professional networks. Facebook is the number one platform total. Facebook owns Instagram. Now everybody knows that. Google owns YouTube. And YouTube is going to be a goal that I'm going to focus on towards the end of the year, beginning of next year. That's going to be one of my goals after I get, my Facebook group down, my LinkedIn course selling. YouTube is my next goal. Let's see, what else? Are there any questions? Sherry, do you have any other questions, or anybody else that is watching? I would love to answer your questions. I guess I could talk about, I'm looking at a presentation that I usually do. I guess I could talk about the different generations and how to market to them. So according to a 2017 Sprout Social Index report, 7 in 10 Gen Xers will likely purchase something from a brand they follow. 30% of millennials engage with a brand on social media at least once a month. 60% of baby boomers are looking for promotions on social media. So millennials are ages 18 to 34. Darn it, I'm not a millennial anymore. So sad. So like I said, 30% of millennials engage with a brand on social at least once a month. 58.99% of millennials follow a brand before purchasing a product. So they're not going to purchase right away. Millennials are twice as likely as any other generation to turn to social rather than phone or email to communicate with a brand. That's why Twitter is so good when it comes to customer service. 38% of millennials follow brands for entertainment value. So millennials, especially the younger generations, are more willing to split their time equally across a wide range of social communities versus being loyal to just one platform. Let's see, what else? Gen Xers. Hey, that's me. 34 to 54. I'm a Gen Xer. All right. Facebook is 50% more popular to Gen Xers than YouTube, and I can attest to that. I very rarely go to YouTube, but I know it's so important to be on it. Gen Xers are more likely to follow a brand for contests, deals, and promotions. Nearly 160% more likely than the other generations to unfollow a brand that says something offensive or in opposition to their personal beliefs. That's why I don't think you should share anything political or religious on social media, but that's all people are doing nowadays. And I get it. I know with everything that's going on. I would say when it comes to your business, though, don't. Don't do it because you're going to lose that following. On a monthly basis, 32% of Gen Xers engage with a brand they follow, meaning they're either liking, commenting, or sharing your stuff. Let's see, who's next? Baby boomers. Anybody 55 and above? Baby boomers are looking for a healthy mix of deals, promotions, and information. YouTube is their second favorite social media platform. And 51% of baby boomers will likely make a purchase from a brand they follow. And baby boomers are mainly lurkers, meaning they're going to stalk your page and just lurk and see what you're doing. Only 14%, though, regularly interact with brands. So they're more watching what you're doing, what you're sharing, and how you're interacting with people. So I think we'll end with some must-dos for social media. And then if you guys don't have any more questions, we will call it a day. So some must-dos: develop a system for gathering content. As I mentioned before, this is something I do help my clients with, but if you it's something easy you can do yourself. Make a list on, good old paper where you get content or where you can find content. Write down content ideas. Bookmark them on the internet. Make an Excel sheet with a link to where, you go. So it's really easy to develop a system for gathering content. Be sure your posts are relevant and useful, interesting and engaging, that they provide valuable takeaways, and that they're educational, where people can get involved and engage with your content. You want to make sure before you post, is your post truthful, helpful, inspiring, necessary, and kind? Then you want to connect with people, communicate with people, have compelling content, be consistent, build a community, whether that be on your Facebook page or your Instagram account or through a Facebook group, and help have all of that lead to commerce where you're bringing in some money. Let's see, Sherry, Gen Xers is my age group. Yes, I'm a Gen Xer. Yes, that is your age group. All right, and then create a posting calendar. You can either use Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, an Excel sheet, but have a way to keep track of when you're going to post. Again, I do it the old-fashioned way on a regular calendar. So when I blog, and I highlight everything, but when I blog, I put it in pink. That way I know, or anything that is related to the blog, whether that be the blog, the newsletter, or social media, I highlight it in pink. Any other social media that I may schedule is in yellow. So that way I just know that if I put out a blog, so this blog went out on Monday, and I fell a little behind, so you're going to see more than usual, but this blog went out on Monday. So everything related to any blog that I was behind in putting out, I highlight in pink. Any other social media, either tips or articles that I may find, I put in yellow. And where I shared them, so this is Instagram, that's LinkedIn, I can't read backwards, that's Instagram. Facebook, I just manually schedule, but you can see I keep track of everything. But you do want to come up with a system of how you're keeping track of everything, days and times. Create a topics idea list. That way you know what types of content to go after. If there's more than one person managing your social media, if you have a virtual assistant helping you, keep track of who's going to be sharing what. Maybe what days. Maybe your virtual assistant shares Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you share Tuesday, Thursday. Okay, so keep track of who's sharing what and when. When you're going to post your days and times. That's what a calendar comes in very handy. Which platforms you're going to post to. I post to all, so because I am in social media. But if you're just focusing on Facebook and Instagram, then you know which platforms to share to. Okay, so that's very easy to come up with some sort of posting schedule. And then be active on a weekly basis. Post at least 2 to 3 times a week if you can, if not daily. But again, like I said earlier, if you're just starting out, do once a week. That's okay. But be active. So that's all I have for today. I went a little bit more than just goals and target market because as you can tell, I love this topic. I'm very passionate about what I do. So, you know, I love doing that. Let's see who commented. Pam, let's see. Oh, that was on a different video. Okay. So too many videos to look after. So let me know in the video on the Facebook Live if you have any questions. Again, I would love to know what your Facebook goals are, who your target market is, and which social media platforms you're focusing on. That way I can guide you in either the right direction or say, hey, you're doing great. This is what you should be doing. If you're stuck on some content ideas, post what your business is, and then I could try and give you some ideas as well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sherry, for joining me and watching and participating. I will see you later tonight, hopefully, if Mikey leaves me alone. He's been on top of me all day. So I hope to see you tonight, Sherry. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Actually, we're doing another interview tomorrow is with Valerie Angel, I believe is her last name. And she is at 12 o'clock right here in the group. So I hope you will be joining me then. Otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.